How's it going, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Capital Hungry live London session. It is currently 1:55 a.m. Eastern. If you can't see the time frame, then you gotta fix your eyes. That means you probably don't know how to read a chart either. It's currently Thursday, April 8th, coming into pre-London hours. Please read the description of this YouTube live stream. We're going to be going through some of the basics anyways, though, of as per contact information, stream reminders, what this stream is about, and how it works. So this is a Capital Hungry live analysis stream with fundamental and technical financial market analysis on gold, GBPJPY, GBPUSD, Euro USD, USD CAD, US 30, and of course, US, well, I already said that too. And of course, as we look at market sentiment, global equities, and everything else. Oh, freaking Google Chrome just froze. Let's open this back up again. All right, there we go. Let me move the stupid. Let me move your guys' chats. I don't want to see any of these chats. I'm tired of these retard comments. I can't read the YouTube chat or the Zoom chat right now. I'm honestly not even trying to tonight. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I just had my browser crash there. I had to open everything back up. All right, there we go. Let's have a fresh start there. Okay, so please make sure you read the YouTube description. I'm going to be sharing intraday and scalp trade ideas using fundamental and technical analysis from the intraday time frames to the lower time frames based on micro fundamentals, market structure, market sentiment, and just overall raw price action. Okay, so you're going to see that is the normal schedule we follow with these streams. If you want to share any charts, you want to ask any questions, feel free to send it in the chat. I'll probably just answer it after I go through all of the analysis as we break down the various pairs and economic events as well as fundamental sentiment at hand. Now, before we jump into it, remember, as traders, our goal is not only just to come in, start doing analysis and taking trades. It's also about staying as emotionally neutral as possible, following our trading plan, risk management plan, focusing on the long-term vision, keeping emotions out, and overall avoid crashing your account. So we still have these recent fundamental points which are very much active, and is one of the reasons why we're getting such aggressive pullbacks on some of our Japanese yen pairs, is the fact that people are forgetting that we're starting a new month and the Q2 period, right? Which is obviously starting in April. So at the end of the month and at the end of Q1, we just had some profit taking happen by buyers and causing that deeper pullback as we had those pullbacks to better demand areas with that short-term Japanese yen strength. But overall, markets are still very optimistic on vaccine talks. We haven't had any high impact fear, uncertainty, or doubt. Overnight tonight at 4:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the UK construction PMI, which could, as PMI figures from Eurozone and UK previously have been solid, I'm expecting this construction PMI to also be neutral or at least good data and potentially give us some short-term GBP bulls, but that's going to be dependent on the market structure and price action as well, as we're coming to a very key area of interest on GBPJPY on the higher time frames. At 7:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the ECB monetary policy statement. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern, the U.S. initial jobless claims report. And then at 12 p.m., we have Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell speaking. Every time the Federal Reserve members are speaking, especially Jerome Powell, this can cause a lot of indecision and technical ranging on the US dollar. So hopefully we can get some quick scalps using some of the US dollar movement overnight on our pairs like GBP USD, Euro USD, USD CAD, and US 30. But the only thing we really have to focus on as per economic events, and we're going to watch that report in 2.5 hours, is the construction PMI. Okay. So overall, before we jump into it, when we're looking at market sentiment and investor behavior, even though we have had some aggressive pullbacks towards the end of the month on most of our equity markets, these pullbacks are not breaking overall bullish market structure, and we're still having investors pool money into the stock markets as they're confident in economic rebound, which is supposed to come tailed behind these flood of vaccine rollouts. Right? So as long as the central banks are continuing to provide financial stimulus support to these correlated economies, as long as we have the continued flood of vaccine headlines and overall optimistic markets, there isn't really any reason for higher time frame reversal on the global stock markets or any of our higher time frame or any of our risk currencies, right? And there hasn't been any reason to have any mass flood of liquidity into our safe haven currencies. You can see primarily the US dollar starting to fade out its strength and is still pretty bearish when we're looking at the higher time frame. The Japanese yen standalone is very bearish, and the volatility index, which is a great fear or greed indicator of the US North American markets because it shows any mass short selling information from the S&P 500, it reads it as mass market fear. If you see a bunch of buyers closing positions in the stock market, or if you see a bunch of short positions entering the stock market, this is usually inciting some type of market fear because stocks only go up, right? So overall, even though we've had some cat bounces on the Japanese yen from this low, for example, which has also given a pullback on our Japanese yen pairs such as GJ, and even though the US dollar had this aggressive bounce to start off the new quarter, it's still been relatively bearish when we're looking at our market sentiment, and you can also see that our global stock markets are still very bullish, right? So when I'm looking at GJ, this pullback here can really distract a lot of traders and start to signal out a potential higher time frame reversal. But the few things I want to note is, one, where is this heavy pullback coming from? Two, is there any fundamental reason, fear, uncertainty, or doubt for buyers to be exiting positions or shorts to be entering the market? And three, what is the market timing, right? So one, the pullback's coming from a new high that was printed by buyers, right? It's not just coming from any previous high price point. It's not just coming from a previous low and we're breaking below structure. We had buyers print new highs towards the end of Q1, and then now the first week of Q2, we're starting to get buyers taking profit in a very aggressive pullback from 153.5 area all the way down to the 150s area, but we're still not testing previous lows, and we're still not breaking higher time frame bullish market structure. All we have done is entered a pullback and corrective phase, which I've talked about to you guys on GJ probably 1,000 times, right? So currently on GJ, this pullback and corrective phase, this bullish structure is still very much active, right? So this is on the 4-hour time frame. If we were to come to the 30-minute time frame, like for example, when GJ buyers printed this high, you had this consolidation and exhaustion at the highs, and then GJ enter this pullback phase as buyers take profit and you have sellers take advantage all the way until you get exhaustion at this demand area, where once you finally break out of that corrective bearish structure on the lower time frame, you have buyers re-enter the market to visit these highs. Okay? This pattern of buyers printing high on our risk currency against safe haven pairs, specifically against the Japanese yen, like if you look at Euro JPY, AUD JPY, NZD JPY, you're going to see the same consistent pattern that buyers have been printing highs. You either get these minor consolidation or pullback phases, which you can identify based on the lower time frame structure. And sometimes the consolidation phase can be hours long. Sometimes it can be potentially weeks long, depending on the correction the market is making and the demand area price is going to. But as long as we maintain overall bullish market structure, as long as we don't break previous lower high points, you can see once we break out of that corrective bearish structure, we run back to previous highs, and this is how we have been trending. Okay? If we have optimistic data as well from the UK zone, it can further support our sentiment of potential high risk, high reward buys. But we don't want to start jumping in buys too early. Right now, when we are looking at like a previous example, we are in about this stage here. So we've had a very aggressive sell-off from new highs being printed. This was previous highs. This is new highs printed by buyers. From this point, we've created more refined bullish market structure, just like we've had over the last 8 months with how GJ behaves and how it's been trending. That transaction between buyers and sellers. That profit taking at new highs is when sellers jump in the market to relieve those buyers out so they can exit the market, and you have price get pushed down to a more favorable demand area, right? You don't want to start taking buys at every technical support formed until you have a clear, valid break of structure. Otherwise, this sell structure can continue to extend down to better demand areas and even come all the way down to this previous low as we watch this structure. Understand? Right now, we are still in about this stage where we're starting to get some sellers exhaustion in a potential support formed, but we have not broken out of the lower time frame bullish market structure yet to start targeting these previous high points. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit more and I'll show you guys what I mean alongside the psychological price levels and key levels. Here you can see on the hourly time frame, this bullish market structure primarily has been respected since almost the start of 2021. This is where we're starting to react now. 150.5, which is a higher time frame key level, and the retest of around that bullish market structure. So we're coming to an area where we can have potentially sellers start exiting out of the market and buyers jumping in, but I wouldn't have the confidence to start entering those buys unless we had a break and retest above 151 and 151.2. Then we can start scaling in the buys above the psychological price levels and taking them back to these previous highs. Do you understand? Right now, we're just in this phase where we're getting a bit of consolidation, but unless we break the bearish market structure, once we clear this low, we will continue to have a deeper pullback, and we're just going to extend that. We have to be very mindful of how GJ buyers and sellers are going to react in this area of interest, and I am starting to notice lower time frame exhaustion by sellers when I come into the one, like for example, when you look at here, you start to get your technical double bottom, your support created, but you can't start safely taking buys until you break out of structure. Then you start scaling in and you revisit these previous highs. right? Same thing here. So now we're creating that potential higher low. We're starting to get some potential exhaustion just above our 150.5 key level and at the retest of bullish structure. But unless we break above 151 and 151.2, it's hard for me to start targeting these previous highs or scaling buys with the current pullback bearish structure still being respected. Does this make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to everybody as per GJ? So right now in the current order block in this area, even at London, if we spike down to these order block lows, which I'm going to show you guys on the 1 minute time frame, that is high risk, high reward buys. Just like here. You know how I tell you guys about scaling in those various entries compared to your risk threshold? So if you were looking for buys on GJ, this area at a potential double bottom or your first signs of support, this is high risk, high reward buys. Just like here would be high risk, high reward buys. Your only validation is that you failed to break previous lows and you're starting to create a technical support zone showing exhaustion by sellers. High risk, high reward. Because if we start moving up from this point, you're already in from the bottom of the pullback. The reason why it's higher risk is because you don't have as many confirms yet, and you could get stuck in something like this if you don't break structure. Meaning, you could start to take your buys at the bottom of the support, right? But if we don't break the bearish market structure, we will come right back to your entry and potentially break lower. When you take those high risk buy entries, you can't extend your buys or hold them longer until you break out of structure, right? So for anybody who is potentially, like in this example, looking for buys because we came to 150.5 and we started to create a support, yes, you could start taking high risk buys at 150.5. You get about 30 pips profit to 150.8. But because we don't break that lower time frame corrective bearish structure, sellers jump right back in, you clear the low, and you continue to play that pullback phase. Understand? So this area here, very similar to any other when we had GJ print a high and then enter a pullback phase, this area here was the high risk, high reward buys. As soon as you break above the following psychological price level and break above structure, that's your medium risk, medium reward buys. You have more confirms, but that's the nature of the beast of how the market works, right? And as soon as you break above the previous price zone in a higher time frame key level, this is your safer buys, but obviously less rewarding than if you're in from the very bottom or if you're in from the break of structure. But that's what you have to understand about your trading style. Are you a very aggressive, high risk, high reward trader? Is that your style? Do you like to be in at those high risk positions and be in and out of the market or potentially hold a longer term trade? Are you a more moderate, not as risk adverse trader where you much rather wait for your confirms instead of having the two confirms here? You wait for your validation of support, then you wait for your shift of structure and continuation with the trend. You line up your confirms, right? Because you could have somebody who's putting a 0.5 lot at the high risk buys and waiting for extremely high risk, high reward situations, but somebody who patiently waits for the medium risk reward but puts in a 10 lot. They waited for more confirms. They put a larger lot because they're more confident that we're going to start targeting these highs again. Even if you have these pullback phases, that's where you essentially go to run. Okay? So when I come to GJ on the lower time frame right now and I show you guys it, we're starting to create a support at a very significant area of interest, and we're starting to create an order block between these candle body highs and lows, which also is at higher time frame bullish structure retest and at 150.8 psychological price level. If we can break and retest above 151, that would be safer buys or above 151.200. This area in the order block right now is your high risk, high reward buys where you would have to put your stop below these lows. And if we don't break above 151, you have to exit your position and be objective enough, because we will continue to respect this bearish market structure. And then, similar to like this, you could have a bunch of bounces and you could have a bunch of ranging going on, and you could have some scalps that you can take advantage of that run 30 to 50 pips. But if we don't break that corrective bearish market structure, similar to like this consolidation you had up here, or this consolidation you had here, or this consolidation you're having here, if we don't break cleanly above 151.2, really, we can have sellers jump right back into the market, break this low, where then this would be the safe sells would be below 150.5. All right. I'm only looking for further sells now on GJ if we don't break this bearish market structure being respected. If we just continue to consolidate, we don't break this structure, we clear out these 1 minute lows, and then we break below 150.5. Then I'll take continued sells on GJ, just like we were taking sells from here, here, and here on like our London Zoom session. All right. The safer scalp buys are if we can clear above when we zoom in here, where we're just ranging right now. The safer scalp buys would be breaking above these 1 minute highs, failing to break these lows. First potential set of entries would be break and retest above 151. Second potential entries, safer entries above 151.2 to start riding buys. All right. So buy areas, break and retest above 151, break above 151.2. Sell if we continue to respect bearish structure. If we clear out these candle body lows and we break above the key level, then we'll take continued sells. I just don't, this right here at these lows is high risk, high reward buys. If you have buys from this low, because you know this buy setup at this high risk area, I was already talking about it in our last GJ breakdown. I was already talking about it in the last London Zoom session with the chat. I even have a position at 0.700, but even me, I have to be objective enough where if we don't break 151, I have to close my position and be objective enough and exit out of that, because the buys are not ready yet and the buyers are not in the market yet, right? Remember, we don't want to get trapped with something like this where we could have buys at the low of the support because GJ higher time frames is bullish, but we don't break out of structure. Or something like this. Okay? I'm going to show you guys another example to the left there when we had that previous aggressive pullback. When I was showing you guys. Here, ready? See when we had this previous pullback? See how here we had, you could start to create these potential support zones, or you could see these double bottoms and people will start to jump in buys. But as long as you don't break the bearish market structure, until you do, what's like I was showing you guys on the 30-minute time frame, sorry, my thing froze. Until you break the previous lower high points, really around 149.2, then you extend back to previous highs. All right. So right now, it's pre-London hours. Right now, as we've extended down to this area of interest, we're getting a reaction and a decision being made by buyers and sellers. We are starting to notice first signs of sellers exhausting and slowing down, and a potential lower time frame support being created. Okay? I can't confidently start to extend buys or call out further buys unless we break above 151 and 151.2. Then we're starting to take buys right back up to previous high targets, but at least scalping it overnight. If we just continue to consolidate, we're not going to touch it. And if we don't break this structure, we're only going to sell below either. We can start selling earlier below these 1 minute lows, but safer sells below 150.5. All right. So high risk, high reward buys is at the lows here. Medium risk buys above 151.2. Safer buys above 151.5. Safest sells below 150.5. All right. Some of these headlines just in recent time: coronavirus, UK Health Secretary Hancock says the government has not sent any vaccines abroad. UK Health Secretary Hancock says on the export of vaccines to Australia, we do not control what companies do. I think they're starting to get some short-term volatility and fear around some of the vaccine rollouts and side effects of the vaccine, because at the end of the day, they were all emergency approved, but nothing that's causing mass fear and uncertainty just yet. And we do have that UK economic data, of course, at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. All right. Okay, so does that make sense? We're going to primarily be watching if the Japanese yen, which is closed right now, I just wanted to see the structure of it. It printed at least a new low. This pullback almost went to revisit previous lows. If this starts to fade and melt down when it reopens again, that's still showing me markets are optimistic. The active downside movement coming from the dollar is showing me markets are optimistic. The downside move on the VIX is still showing me markets are optimistic. We're more going to be keeping an eye on the dollar overnight on the 30-minute chart just to observe its price action. Because what I want from the US dollar, which is a safe haven currency and the world's reserve currency, is to revisit these lows and potentially drop further. This can set up some nice potential GBP USD buys, Euro USD buys, and USD CAD sells, as well as gold buys that we could take advantage of. So obviously, something we have to be mindful of is Jerome Powell speaking later at New York, which anytime there's Fed speakers, it creates a lot of indecision in ranging. But we are still higher time frame bearish on the US dollar standalone if you were to look at the dollar index market structure, right? So if we can make our way down to these previous lows overnight and even deeper, that would show me some easier potential buys on GBP USD once we look at the market structure, Euro USD, and sells on USD CAD. But that's the GJ analysis. We're just going to let that develop. Watch this little order block in range here. I'm just going to clean that up. You guys can see where the order block and consolidation zone is, where the liquidity is being generated. Keep an eye on 151 over the next 30-minute candle, and at London open if we can break above and start breaking above 151.200 as well. We're only selling either below these 1 minute lows if we don't break bearish structure, or below 150.5. You would need clean bullish candle closures above 151, a retest, or a breakout above 151.2 for the safer scalp buys as well. Okay, gold. Gold for the last period of 7 days, as the dollar has been fading out some strength, has been respecting this bullish market structure, where you've had buyers print highs, these pullback phases that don't break structure, and continuations back up to the highs, right? So right now, you can see yesterday, we were getting a bit more aggressive pullbacks, but even though we were getting a bit of consolidation and exhaustion on gold here, for example, it did not break the bullish market structure that we have been watching. Similar to like the GJ higher time frame structure, you can see that this intraday bullish structure with buyers printing highs and pullback phases has been respected just for the last week, right? So every time you print a high, you get this lower time frame pullback. Once you break above that pullback phase, you extend back to that previous high. Understand? Same thing here. Once you break above and you don't break structure, same thing here. Where this pullback here, even though it was aggressive and broke the trend line, this is where a lot of people can get confused with trend lines. Okay, I want to teach you guys this as well. A lot of people can get confused with trend lines because a trend line is a visual representation of market structure. Even though your trend line is breaking here, that does not mean bullish market structure broke. Okay, keep this in mind. This will really change the way you look at your trend lines, maybe even how you visualize market structure. The trend line you draw is just a visual representation for you to better assess and look at market structure. When we are trending bullish here, this is the last previous higher low that extended into a new high. Bullish market structure would be broken if you have candle closures below this low price. Even though you're breaking your trend line, bullish market structure is still intact as long as you're above this higher low price. Does that make sense? Because sometimes you can have a bullish trend line being respected for an extended period of time, but then you start to enter a consolidation phase, or the pair starts to slow down, or there's not as much volume or volatility, and this consolidation can break your trend line and people think the structure is broken. Now gold is a sell. No, the trend line is just a visual representation. Even though you might start breaking your trend line, still look at the last potential higher low point or the last low point. And as long as you haven't technically broken below there, you are still very much bullish. You are just having a bit of a consolidation phase, liquidity generated. You know what I mean? Something like this, where this type of price action can confuse a lot of technical only traders that a resistance is forming and they start to call a top on gold. But unless that consolidation leads to a break in structure, it's nothing but a consolidation phase, an order block, liquidity generation. Understand? So to me, gold is still very bullish. The US dollar's weak. I'd be looking for scale and buy entries. Either if we could get an aggressive pullback to 1739 at London Open, I don't think we're going to get that. If we can clear above 1744 and 47, we'll continue to take further buys on gold. We have to be cautious right now because we've already had that gold pullback phase and we already had it revisit previous highs, right? So we have to be cautious here that when it goes to revisit that previous high, you can get a pullback. So we have to be very cautious that if we don't break these previous highs created, we will see buyers take profit, which will create a pullback. And we can't just end up consolidating here on gold. That's why the safer buys now on gold from current price positioning will be above 1744. Or above 1747, or if we come to retest 1739 and don't break below it. All right. I would only be looking for sells on gold with candle closures below 1736 and more safely below 1728, 1730 area. All right. On the higher time frames, just on the 4-hour time frame, what I've been looking at on gold is the break of this bearish market structure. Sorry, I didn't mean that big circle. Is this potential double bottom here, which shows sellers exhaustion. So your first, just like we're looking at market structure on the 1-minute time frame, bearish structure respected. Your first signs of exhaustion failing to break a previous low, breaking above bullish market structure, but once we clear above this intraday order block, and the US dollar stays weak, there's a lot of room to the upside to revisit these previous price sensitivity areas. So once we clear above 1747 and these previous highs to the left, I see a lot of room for upside on gold, as long as the dollar still remains relatively weak. And especially with what we can see from Jerome Powell speaking maybe later at New York, that might be the catalyst to break out of this consolidation zone here. All right. So on gold here, I'm just going to let it do its thing on the 1 minute. If we can break above these 1 minute highs, I'd start looking for buy scalps above 1745 and above 1747. Or if we get a pullback to 1739. I'm more in a buyer bias still on gold due to the intraday market structure being respected for the last 7-day period. We just want to be cautious of the rejections we've had at 1747 and 1751. I'd only be looking for gold sells really below 1736 or safely below 1730. And for example on GJ, once GJ comes to 151, if it does, then I'll start looking at the lower time frame 1 minute price action to look for entry points. Once gold comes to 1745 or 1747, then I'll zoom in and start dissecting the play-by-play price action. All right, like gold like GJ right here, you can see it's still rejecting that order block high, and it's on the new 30-minute candle as well right here. So it's getting a little bit messier, and it's not showing us as much buyer's momentum as we want. What would be ideal is if with the London volume we can get that breakup and then start taking those buys. We're only taking the sells if we break these candle body lows and 150.5. Exactly. If this 30-minute can create that lower wick and come back above 151, we might be able to sneak in some entries before London open. All right. That's why this area is high risk, high reward. You can't start extending your buys unless you break structure. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Right now it's just in that lower time frame consolidation zone, having that reaction between buyers and sellers. We're keeping an eye on 151, 151.2. GBP USD. Now, I'm looking for GU buys if we can come above 1.378, as we're failing to revisit these lows and failing to break these previous intraday lows as well. And if we can come above 1.378 and get GBP buyers back in the market, there's a nice 100 pip range to revisit these previous intraday highs and this bearish corrective structure on the higher time frame. What I don't like is how this current 4-hour candle doesn't have much of a lower wick here. At least it has something. But I am liking the exhaustion we're getting at this intraday zone, and I am liking how the dollar can potentially wave off some strength. The hell is that? Okay. I'd only be looking for GU sells on the lower time frame. If we break below 37300 and have US dollar strength. If we break below overnight, if we fail to break 378, then break below 373 1 minute lows and intraday lows created with US dollar strength when we're looking at the dollar index, then we can take this range down to 365. That's what we'd be looking to target. But with the fact that we're failing to break these previous intraday lows, when you're looking to the left, and from this area, you can see before we've had very strong bearish market structure and sell-offs and get exhaustion and very aggressive bounces once we come back above the key level. All right. So here, when we're coming back, right now, I don't want to touch it. We are starting to get some signs of exhaustion here, but I wouldn't start looking for buys unless we cleanly come above 378. with US dollar weakness, then once we come above here, I'll start looking at price action to call out potential buy trades and buy scalp ideas. If the US dollar's weak, and if we have that if we have any strong GBP data as well. Gold is not breaking 45 yet. You guys are vultures and hyenas. Gold is not going crazy. It's starting to approach this 1 minute high. It didn't close above yet. It went up like 15, not even 1 pip maybe. This is why you guys are uncontrolled, emotional, trading hyenas and gamblers. Crackheads, market crackheads. You know what I mean? So give yourself a slap on the neck for being a market crackhead. Everybody here. Absolute dogs, hounds waiting for their meal, waiting for me to give you your little fucking plate of dirty dog food in your bowl. That's what you guys are waiting for. I want to talk to other people who see themselves as an economist. I want to talk to other market analysis. I want to talk to other people who can share their value and opinion. But instead I'm talking to dogs waiting for their dirty bowl of food. Vultures, just vicious vultures. Take it easy. All right, take it easy. Didn't break. It didn't close above. It didn't break above. I'll tell you guys when it looks good. You guys know I'll tell you when it looks good. All right? So relax. GJ, same thing. It's in this consolidation zone. It didn't break these lows yet. We're only going to sell at the break. We're going to identify these 1 minute lows too, just because we had great reactions here at around 0.7. All right. Show me how to take gold buys. It's not ready yet to take gold buys. That's why I told you guys relax. Take a chill pill. All right. GBP, but does GBP USD make sense? If GU can break this little, like same thing I was showing you guys to the left when we came to this area of interest before. All right. If GBP, I'll do Bitcoin. I'll do some Bitcoin analysis. We could scalp Bitcoin tonight. But if GBP USD fails to break these lows, comes back above 378, we're starting to take scalps if the dollar is weak and we see that GBP strength short term. Otherwise, if we continue to respect this bearish market structure, which we are so far, and we break below 37300, then we're taking sells and continuing to play the bearish structure. We're only taking GU buy scalps at a shift out of this structure and US dollar weakness. Understood? Understood? Does GU make sense? If GU overnight continues to respect this bearish corrective structure and the dollar index is bullish and we break below 373, then we're taking the sells from 373 to 365. Okay? Bro, question. Drawing trend lines is very subjective. Drawing trend lines should not be subjective. It should be based on market structure. A trend line is just a visual representation for yourself to make it easy for your highs to identify higher highs, higher lows, lower highs. So you should still be looking at previous higher lows, higher, like, you know what I mean? Like, I gave a great example with gold and the trend line on gold. You know, on the lower time frame, actually, like on the 1 minute time frame, it's actually a lot easier in my opinion to map out market structure and draw a trend line. You can see exactly where like the higher highs, higher lows are being created, etc. You know, right? Samuel, please rewind the webinar. Anybody who has just come into the webinar trying to give me analysis on GJ, just please rewind the webinar and watch my analysis on GJ. All right. I'm not saying we're not going to take GJ sells. I'm saying we have to be very cautious of where GJ has come to on the higher time frames and where we are potentially retesting market structure and getting some signs of exhaustion. That's why we're also not taking safe buys until we break out of that corrective pullback structure, Mr. Samuel. Understand? But if we can continue to respect this bearish market structure and come below 150.5, then yes, sir. So if we don't break this bullish, if we don't break this bearish market structure that's been respected, as we've had this consolidation phase sell off, this consolidation phase sell off, and this, if we can respect this bearish market structure and break below 150.7 and 150.5, we're still going to be looking for sells at these areas. You know? We're only looking for GJ buys if we can shift out of this bearish market structure and break above 151 and more safely above 151.2, where you can see this order block to the left and previous low. Right now, we're just consolidating at a higher time frame area of interest and demand area. We're having a decision made by buyers and sellers. All right. Okay, so that's why we're going to keep it on the 1 minute chart now that we've already done our higher time frame analysis. We're just going to be waiting. Once it comes to 151, I'll start telling you guys what I see. Once it comes to these lows, I'll start telling you guys what I see. And what's happening right now, I don't give a flying fuck. Just like right now, whatever happens on gold between 1739 and 1745, I could give two fucks. I could give two shits about all this price action happening right now. I'm only going to care once we come to our area of interest for a retest at 1739 buys, or if we come above 1745, then I'll care. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful or rude. I'm saying it so other people do not exert or waste your mental energy staring at nothing. Once you do your analysis, when you do your analysis and generate trade ideas based on whatever confirms you may use, I told you guys my confirms based on fundamentals, market structure, market optimism, etc., etc. Once you create your price points of interest and your areas of interest, you patiently wait for price to come there. Then you start looking at price action. Then you start focusing your mental energy. Don't just be a zombie, fucking hyena. Pips. Oh my god, 1 pip down, 10 pips up. Why are you wasting all your energy, giving yourself a headache, stressing out? Why even like set alerts for yourself? Once you do your analysis, set an alert there. Why are you wasting so much energy? Why are you sweating in your room? Why are your armpits sweating as you're looking at the chart? If your armpits are sweating while you're looking at the chart, that's not good. We've all been there too. Have you guys been there? When I first started, I used to be that stress market crackhead junkie. Like, my armpits would be sweating looking for a fucking trade. Right? If you're stressed out, like armpits are sweating, your heart is racing while you're looking for a trade, you're not good. You're not a good trader. Even if you're a scalper, you shouldn't be like, you should still be waiting for your price points of interest. You know what I mean? Yes, but it's really hard to learn if you're a beginner. No, you're just lazy. It's that easy. You're just lazy, man. You're just fucking lazy. It's not hard to learn if you're a beginner. You're just fucking lazy. You're fucking lazy. All right. So yeah, let's watch if once GJ comes back to 151, we'll pay attention and see if we get clean candle closures above. Right now, look where we've been rejecting on the dot, but we still haven't broken the lows either. Understood? Once we break above 151, then we can easily start to take buys. Once we clear this low, and if we still respect bear structure, it's easy. All right. Gold, we're going to watch at 1739 and 1745. GBP USD, we're going to start looking at it if we break above 1.378, which might come soon. We'll get an alert for that. Zeus, CAD is weak because of this. CAD is weak because oil is starting to exhaust from its highs and consolidate and starting to be a bit show more bearish pressure. So you have to understand that crude oil, there's a direct correlation between Canadian dollar strength and crude oil. One of Canada's major revenue sources, let's watch, oh shit, let's go back to GJ. One of Canada's major revenue sources is the exportation of crude oil. The higher the crude oil price per barrel and the more oil Canada sells, the more money they make. And it's the opposite if crude oil is dropping in value and they're selling less oil. Alright, so when crude oil is weaker, CAD's weaker. Quick little tip, quick little tidbit. Alright, let's pay attention to GU and let's pay attention to GJ. GJ, we're starting to get some bullish candle closures above 151. And what we have to identify is a potential nice 30-minute candle closure. And what would be ideal is this 30-minute closing above and then getting a retest and a lower wick made at 151 and continued buys. All right. Okay. So let's look at the price action. Right now, this isn't a clean enough candle close above. And if this candle engulfs this, this is not clean buys yet. If this following bearish candle engulfs this one and closes bearish like fully like this, it's not good buys. It's a bit of a fake out. But if we get a cleaner breakout to the upside, weaker bearish candles, and then a weaker retest, and that's what I want to see. If you don't like taking breakout entries. And also at this point, we have London open. So it would be nice to get a nice bullish candle close and then London open retest and continue up. All right. Holy fuck. Sorry about that. Hit some white screen button. So now we're retesting that structure. I told you guys don't start selling GJ. Fucking told you guys. Trust the, but we don't have our neck out of the woods just yet. So see this example here. Like I told you guys, I got the high risk, high reward entry. Now, if at London Open, I'm just telling you guys objectively how I'm going to trade manage. If at London Open right now, I'm about 30 pips in profit, right? If London Open comes back into this range below 151, I'm closing this position for 10-20 pips. But if London Open closes as is, retests 151 and fails to break lower, I'm going to hold this position and look for more entries to scale in at the 151 retest or above 151.2. Or I could just fucking call it a night right now. This is, remember that high risk, high reward buy from the previous GJ webinar? The high risk positions, safer positions. So now when I'm trade managing, I have to be very cautious that if we snap back below 151, I'm just going to exit this position and be objective, come back to attack another day or see what sets up better. Because this is a high risk, high reward position. All right. So right now, we're getting that potential pullback. I do not want this bearish candle to close below this candle. I want it to close weak bearish, and I want to get a bullish candle closer above 151. That's how institutional trading based on trend, no matter what you never do, trade opposite way of trend. I work in the world's biggest bank. No, you fucking don't. Shut the fuck up. Everybody roast Adrian Tatar. Adrian Retard. I'm gonna call him Adrian Retard now. Short for retard, if you guys didn't get it. You do not work for fucking the biggest banks for 10 years. Why you my fucking YouTube chat then? Why aren't you doing big things with this 10 years experience in big banks institutions? Why the fuck you here? I fucking hate these weird liars, right? I hate these weird bank trading liars. What the right? It's so cringe. Let's wait till London Open now in 10 minutes, all right? I actually just did this one 10 hours ago. The blissful ignorance, how the modern world is hypnotized. All right. For the guy who said it's hard to learn, you have all these free resources on my YouTube page, by the way. I just did another rant this afternoon, 10 hours ago. Blissful ignorance, how the modern world is hypnotized. All right, I'm not liking these rejections so far at this bearish market structure. I'm gonna put my high risk entry stop loss at break even, so worst case I don't take a L, because we are retesting so far that bearish market structure that we identified and that pullback structure on the dot, and we're coming back below 151. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put that buy entry, I'm gonna put it at break even, my stop loss, because London Open could come take me out and then potentially head up. I still am liking how if this candle closes bullish above 151, it's still looking good. And if I want to hourly close above 151, and then the next hour to create that lower wick and continue back up. I do not want to snap back in this lower time frame range here. I'm just walking you through what I'm seeing with like the position I got. I do not want to snap back between these 1 minute highs we are rejecting. You know? Right now my position's in good enough profit to like to close some partials and make enough money for tonight, and then I might close half of this and leave the other half risk free. You know? Samurai FX. I got my first shot of Moderna yesterday. Everybody, RIP Samurai in the chat. We'll see you in the heavens in a couple of weeks. I'm just kidding. We don't have any major news headlines or anything yet. I'm just waiting for London Open in 7 minutes. I want to see how this hourly candle's closing, and I want to see how the next hourly candle opens up here. We're starting to create that nice liquidity zone in support, but we haven't had a breakout of the corrective bear structure yet. Once we clear above this area, the GJ will give easy buys. Otherwise, we're only selling at a break of these lows. If GJ ends up flipping bearish overnight, we're only selling at a break of these lows. Understand? Understand? Gold, we're just watching it do its thing. GBPUSD, we're only going to buy above 378. If we get a breakout of this structure, weak US dollar overnight, GBP buyers jumping back in the market, we're only going to sell if we continue to respect this bearish structure and we break below 1373. All right. When I come back after London Open right now, we're going to finish doing analysis and trade ideas on Euro USD and on USD CAD. I just got to go to the washroom and we're going to wait till London Open. Now we're going to patiently wait till London Open. I'm being mindful of this bearish market structure we're still rejecting on GJ. We really need to clear above that. And then, like, if we retest 151 and clear above that, it's easy continuation. Otherwise, I'm going to exit all my positions if we close back below 151. And then I'm just going to watch it objectively. But I just got to go to the washroom quick. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Share the stream around. You know what I mean? Free streams. I majority of the time either stop you guys from losing money or make you money. And I teach you more than your piece of shit mentors. So, you know what I mean? Even though my channel's getting shadow banned because I speak very aggressively, rudely, and to the point, still share it around, you know? So I'll be back in a second here. All right, so let's see how London's opening up here, how this hourly candle closed bullish, at least in the next 5 seconds. Make sure you guys check out all the resource links in the description. Okay, so we had a bullish hourly candle close. We're opening up bearish already with at least some type of upper wick there. I just want to see if we can maintain this little minor lower time frame corrective structure and stay above 151 and then continue to the upside. So let's just let London do its thing. If it snaps back below 151 and the 1 minute candle start to close back below 151, then I'm going to close my positions and get out and wait for better entries. All right. If this candle closes like weak bearish back above these bodies, I can see the next one like quickly retesting and then potentially flipping back bullish and continuing back up. And then once we clear above these 1 minute highs, GJ just gonna push up. But we have to clear this bearish market structure to validate more buyers pressure in the market and bullish strength. Once we clear that bearish market structure in these 1 minute highs, then there's a lot of room to go up to 151.200. So far I like that we're staying above 151. I just want to clear these 1 minute highs and clear above this bearish market structure. I don't like how we're rejecting right at the bearish market structure. I don't like this candle close as well. That really just flipped it last second. So if this closes back below 151, I'm going to exit my positions or just leave it break even. Just because we're still respecting that bearish market structure. But I wouldn't look for sells until we break those previous lows. So let's just let this liquidity grab do its thing. We're still closing above 151, which is good. I need some more stronger bullish candle closures above 151. And then we need to clear these 1 minute highs and we should extend to 151.2. If we get bearish candle closures back below 151, I'm going to stay out and just let GJ do its thing as it can get messy in this lower time frame consolidation here. And I'd only be looking for sells below 0.700, okay? I don't like how we're getting continuous bearish candle closures so far. Watching the 151 area. Yeah, if this closes below, then we're going to dig deeper and do a deeper retest, potentially even come all the way back down, as we're still rejecting that bearish market structure we highlighted. So no safe buys yet. No sells yet either, because I don't want anybody to take sells and then we bounce around in this range. So no price action confirms in the lower time frame, showing any buy entries yet as we're breaking below 151. And we're just having that liquidity grab so far. If we stay below 151, I'm not going to touch any buys, obviously, because we're still respecting that bearish market structure, right? Like I was talking about. So let's watch that accordingly now. We're only selling if we break these lows. It gets very messy on the lower time frame in this range. Gold, at least we had a bullish candle close on gold. On the hourly, a weaker bearish close here with still grabbing liquidity to the downside. If we can get the 1 minute candle closures above 1745, we'll take those buys. Or if we can get the retest at 1739, we'll take the buys. GBP USD, same idea. if dollar can continue bearish and GBP USD can come above 37800, we'll start looking for those buy entries above 37800. All right. Keep in mind the UK economic data at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. USD CAD, I still see CAD sells like we were talking about in the webinar from here down to 258. Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin later on. Let's look at GJ here. I want to see if we can start getting bullish candle closures back above 151, and if that was just a deeper retest and a lower wick being created. But we need bullish candle closures back above 151 flat, showing more momentum. Right, see how it's still rejecting and retesting that area on closing week. And then if it comes below 0.8, then we'll sell it. Sorry, 0.8 ppl, then we'll sell. I'm not touching it in this consolidation range besides that higher risk entry. What's this? Oh, if you guys want to send charts, yeah, I'll check them out. Oh, you took those UCAD sells, eh? Starting to reject that area, nice. We need to come below 258 though, and it'll be even cleaner. Let's keep an eye on GU as well. If GU breaks above 378 and also this little 1 minute high, it'll give some nice scalps too. At least 10 pips to this 1 minute high, and then if we break above. Let's look at GU, getting some nice bullish momentum here. GJ looks like it might come back above 151 as well after doing that deeper liquidity grab, but we need those price action confirms above the key level. Gold still rejecting 45. That's why I don't want anybody to start jumping in buys here. You know, I don't want anybody to start jumping in buys here for no reason. GJ still no confirms to buy as we're rejecting below 151. Very weak bullish candle closures. It looks like it's going to continue down to the lower side of this range so far. So I'm just going to be keeping an eye on it until it comes to an area of interest, either to 0.800 or back above 151. UCAD melting nicely. GJ, I'll sell GJ if it comes below this order block in range. If it comes below, then it's easy sells. Otherwise, I don't want to start selling in the range and then get caught in some of these bounces within that, you know what I mean? But once we can identify a break below the consolidation zone, then we can get much easier sells. Like once we validate the bearish market structure is still being respected, which it is, and we can break below the zone, we'll get much easier sells to take advantage of, you know? So once the fact that it's back in this consolidation range, I'm just letting it do its thing. I don't want to get caught in some aggressive bounce from the low again. That's all. Once it clears that, as we're still, what we can validate right now is bearish market structure still being respected. Now we're entering back below the 151 high, 1 minute highs, but we're entering this consolidation range. Once we clear these lows, then I'll feel safely confident that all this was seller side liquidity and we can take that clean melt down. But I don't want people to start selling within this range and getting caught in these 10, 15, 20, 30 pip bounces that can take place as well. That's all. The 1 minute lows are exactly here, around 150.7, we'll say 0.73, 0.7 there. You know what I mean? That's exactly where the lows have been created. This is exactly where the consolidation highs have been created. So I'm just letting it do its thing. I don't want to get caught in some aggressive bounce in this range. Once it breaks below, it's easy sells. And if it comes back above 151 and it does happen to bounce here, then you're going to say, oh, thanks, Chief, so I didn't jump in sells early, because we could still very much break out of this range and just have that liquidity. Just have that as a liquidity grab. GPUSD, we're going to start taking buy scalps above 37800. And above 379. Right now, we don't have the confirms for it. GJ, if it breaks below 0.500, that's also like safer sells, but we can start taking sells below 0.500. Like once we break these 1 minute lows 20 pips above 0.500, you can start taking sells there and then look for like retest and continuation down, right? But we can't start looking for those sells unless we break below this consolidation low. Okay? Once we break below 0.700 GJ sells, we can scale in if we also break below 0.500. I just don't want to get caught in any lower time frame bounces or this ranging here. That's why I only took the high risk, high reward buy at the lows, but I couldn't extend those buy trades unless we came above structure and broke above structure. That's why I objectively closed that position as we were rejecting structure here. I closed partial of the position to take some money. You know? That's just the nature of the beast. I had some high risk buys from the lows, but I couldn't extend those buys unless we broke above this bearish structure and remained above 151, which we didn't. You know? So I'll be looking at GJ again if we come down to 0.700 or if we come back to 151. Yeah, exactly. Gold? Okay, let's look at gold. Gold looks like it might be setting up those 45 buys. Gold, if we get bullish candle closures above here, gold's going to rip it up to 47. And then we could take also further buys above 47. Gold's looking, and GJ, let's watch, GU as well. Once we start getting some bullish candle closures above GU, it can give you the breakout scalp. Or once we have a clean break and retest, that entry as well. Okay, so keep an eye on GU for some. This isn't a strong enough bullish candle close alone yet. Maybe for a breakout entry, we need a cleaner breakout and retest or order block formed. But I do like how the dollar staying weak. I do like how dollar's at least doing what we said. Dollar's coming to revisit these previous lows, so I like that. And if it melts even lower, those GU buys, Euro USD buys, and gold buys should run nice. So let's just be patient. And gold, no clean bullish candle closures above the candle bodies yet. We need closures above these candle bodies. and rejection areas. It's still rejecting this area. Once we close above, then bam. Right? So don't rush it yet. Same thing with like how I was talking about GU, how this wasn't a clean candle break above yet. Just don't rush it yet. If this closes bullish, if this candle closes bullish above these bodies, that's looking a lot better. If it closes bullish above these bodies, bullish engulfing the bearish candle on the 1 minute, then it's looking cleaner buy scalps. Okay, gold's starting to look better if we get this bullish candle closure above these bodies and wicks. Safer buys would also be above 47. And also, these are new 15-minute candles that just opened up. This 15-minute has no lower wick yet. Hopefully we can get the quick squeeze to 47, but I'm being very iffy about the no lower wick. So I feel like it's going to quickly spike down and create that lower wick and then come back up. The GJ looks like the 15-minute candle is pushing up to make its lower wick first. We still don't have... It's just in the range right now. Right? It's looking like it was making its upper wick first, and now it's going to flip bearish. It's still too messy in this range at the moment. We still need to break below these lows or coming back above 151. I don't want anybody stressing and dealing with the ups and downs here unless you have a high risk, high reward entry from the lows. So you can see it looked like that 15-minute candle is just making an upper wick, and we could very much well still come down, range around. We're only taking sells below 151.7, only buys above 151 flat. 150.7 and buys above 151 flat. See how this is going to make that 15-minute lower wick now? It wasn't the cleanest candle closure above. Same thing with GU. Not enough price action confirms yet. I'm going to tell you guys when I advise it looks better and cleaner. I'll tell you guys right away. If we can get a bullish candle close above these bodies and create that little order block, we will have that scalp up. Possibly in the next 30 minutes, 15 minutes. But right now, the buys are invalid until we get those confirms of stronger price action above 378. Huh? Am I doing a New York session? No, I'm not. What do you guys think? I'm like a fucking robot? I'm gonna do like a 3-hour London session, then go to a New York stream? Holy. Take it easy. You guys sending some charts? Yeah, I haven't done analysis on EU or USD CAD yet. We're primarily focused on gold, GJ, and GU tonight, but nothing too clean has set up yet. Like, this isn't looking like clean price action to enter buys. We don't have the confirms yet on any of these pairs. Yeah, bro, I agree. I also agree. Like, what the fuck is this you sent me? Alright, guys. This guy gave me a headache. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys later. I got a migraine. Man sent me some abstract art. No, I have no... sorry, though. I have no clue what you're trying to tell me here. My GJ analysis is the same. If we break below 150.7, we're taking sells. I'm not playing this consolidation range unless you had the high risk buys at the bottom. 151 is safer buys. Okay? This man's chart is living in 2050. I'm still in 2020. Yeah. Gold started to look gold's still looking good. I don't like how it didn't make the 15-minute lower wick, but if we get continued bullish candle closures, it's gonna give that 30 pips to 47. I would have liked that quick lower wick made first though, and then pop back up, and then take buys above 47 as well. That's what I'm primarily waiting for. GJ's just back in the range. We're not gonna touch it. GBPUSD, did that set up yet? GBPUSD is looking better as well, but we're only taking the buys if we get bullish candle closure above here. That's what I want to see on GBPUSD. We're not above the key level yet. We're not showing strong enough bullish price action or momentum just yet either. And I want to see how this 30-minute closes because it might close below the level. I'm checking the headlines. There's not that much going on. What's this? AUD CAD. This is AUD CAD. Yeah, so GJ's coming down deeper. That's why I was breaking down how I was going to trade manage. As soon as I saw these rejections, that's why I closed that high risk position in some partials. Worst case now, I'll get taken out risk free on the runner. You know what I mean? And I'll adapt to sells if we break below 0.700. GU, no buys above 378 yet. Gold, no safe buys yet. We're getting that 15-minute lower wick like I'm telling you guys. As long as gold stays respecting these order block lows and doesn't break below here, I'm still in a bullish bias. I'm just waiting for the cleaner price action confirms above 44. All right. Oh yeah, sorry. I like this setup. I like how this is coming from a new high printed by AUD CAD buyers, it looks like. This was the previous low we failed to break, you identified. We're in this bearish corrective structure. If we could clear above this price point, there's a lot of room for buys to revisit these previous highs. I like this setup you're looking for. Or if we continue to respect this structure, target these lows. But I would rather get the breakout buys to revisit the highs and respect the higher time frame trend, it looks like. No confirms on GU. Euro USD, we didn't do analysis on tonight. I'm just going to leave Euro USD alone. UCAD, I'm looking for further sells below 25800. Our global stock markets are still very bullish. Dollar still flat. Japanese yen is still relatively flat or fading out some of those gains from what we saw before it closed up. Oh shit, we got some Brexit issues. Oh shit. Irish foreign minister. This guy's such a negative dickhead. More than listening to the unionist frustrations on Brexit protocol, want to respond with flexibilities of trade arrangements. So we're getting a bit of volatility regarding Brexit that we haven't seen in a while. That might bring some GBP potential pressure. But we're only taking sells below 0.700. We're getting some real-time Brexit headlines. We haven't seen that in a while. Brexit. The Irish foreign minister is always pretty pessimistic as well. So I'm really curious to see how this 30-minute candle closes, and because I think, oh, what else is he saying now? Damn, more EU countries will be added to a COVID-19 mandatory hotel quarantine list. So we're getting some potential negative headlines that can impact UK and Eurozone. But we're still only taking sells below 0.700. You can see this is causing some short-term bearish price action from these headlines to the left of your screen. But honestly, it's nothing groundbreaking negative yet. I would still need the technical break below 0.700 to take sells. So, yeah, I heard there's a lot of drama going on in Ireland. So we can see that those negative headlines from the Brexit, from the Irish foreign minister regarding Brexit, and from more countries being added to a mandatory COVID-19 quarantine list is bringing some short-term bearish pressure to GBPJPY. We still are only going to sell if we can break these lows. I don't want an aggressive bounce still. You know what I mean? So I'm still being very mindful of where we're reacting. Gold's looking a lot better. If gold gets if this gold candle clears here, gold's looking a lot better once we made that 15-minute lower wick. The 30-minute candle is probably going to make a quick lower wick in the next 4 minutes, and then we can continue back up to 47. So new 30-minute candles in 4 minutes. And here comes GJ. Let's see if we can let's see how we react at 0.800 here. I'm watching reactions at 0.800. No, my high risk position here, I sadly closed for $1,000 profit at 151 flat. When it came back below the range, I closed this high risk, high reward buy because we never broke structure. Same ideology I was telling you guys. You know what I mean? We never broke the bearish structure, and we had bearish candle closures below, so I just objectively closed that position and just took a bit of that profit. Now I'm looking to adapt to potential sells because we're getting negative Brexit headlines, and we're still respecting bearish market structure. But I only want to sell if we can clear these lows. Which is coming up very soon here. And this is also obviously causing GU a negative pressure on GBP overall across the board. So GU also didn't break above key level, so that's making our buy analysis invalid. These short-term negative headlines that just came out the last 5 minutes are making our buy analysis more invalid and potentially setting us up for sells if we have the continued momentum. But I still need a break of those technical price points to safely take those sells myself. I don't want this to just be a liquidity grab and then a very aggressive bounce from the lows again. You know what I mean? Which we've seen GJ do so many times at this area. And I want to see how these 30-minute candles close. What we can adapt to potentially on GJ is if this next 30, like, see where we're having the reaction again? That's not what I essentially like as much. We didn't clear it out yet. The dollar index is going up bullish now because of short-term market fear that is picking up. That's why the dollar index is reversing from those lows. The US dollar is a safe haven currency. So when there's short-term market fear, you see liquidity go into the US dollar, go into the yen, go into gold. You know what I mean? But we're not going to sell GJ unless we break these 0.700 lows, because that's where we came down to here again and have failed to break still, and the 30-minute candle might still close above the range still. I don't want to get caught in a bait bounce. You feel me? I want to see what this next 30-minute candle, if the next 30-minute like pushes up to 151 and rejects, then sure. But the safer sells is below here. You can see the price action on the 1 minute. So these 30-minute candles just closed. Very strong bearish candle close on GJ, but we still didn't break these lows. This 30-minute candle does not have an upper wick yet. If I'm not mistaken, my 30-minute candle on Owanda does not have an upper wick yet. I'd feel more confident if it created that upper wick, then broke below 151.7 for sells. I'm still not taking sells unless we break below 151.7. All right. And we're not taking buys unless we come above 151 flat. Especially if we get these types of reactions at these lows, then I just don't feel safe selling it. It's just back in this consolidation range. All right. Okay, gold new 30-minute candle created that lower wick like I was telling you guys, but I don't like how this previous 30 closed below the range. I don't like that. That wick thing is just from a technical perspective. If you guys backtest 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour candles, there's a higher probability when they open or that these higher time frame candles will create some type of wick on either side, even if it's a very small nipple wick. But this is not always the case. I would say 8 out of 10 candles, if you count and check, will be creating wicks, with maybe 1 or 2 in the off case of with very strong momentum not. You know, it's just something I've noticed technically over the years. Now, gold, I don't like how we still close below the range. I would need this 30-minute to flip bullish and then start taking those same buy ideas, all right? See how I at least created some type of nipple wick now? Now we're seeing it drop a bit more. Now if we see continued seller pressure and a break below 0.7, I'll feel more confident selling. But we're not at 0.7 yet, so I'm just watching it subjectively, or objectively, I mean. Alright? I don't want to play around like in these guessing games. I'd rather wait for the break of the low and take advantage of that melt. Okay? Does that just make sense? I just don't want anybody, as you're scalping, when we don't break the low, getting caught in these bounces. Even here, when we broke the low, we quickly snapped back above and then finally broke it here, right? So I don't want you guys at these lows getting caught in these aggressive bounces trying to sell prematurely. Once we cleanly break below 700, we'll get that continuation move as we're respecting bearish structure. But if we just bounce around here and don't break the lows, we could very much just range and come right back to these order block highs. Does that make sense to everybody? You know? And if we were to take those 700 lows, we would need at least a 10 pip stop at 0.800. And we're looking to target 0.5 and potentially lower. Right here, we're just in a consolidation zone. The 30-minute and hourly candle closed only 10 pips above 151, but didn't break bearish market structure. Even though we had, sorry about that white flash, even though we had that consolidation and support potentially being created, it still didn't break this corrective bearish market structure that's been respected. And if we do not get these setups overnight, keep in mind for New York that if we break below 700, we'll get those deeper pullbacks. We could also tell that the price action itself on the breakout wasn't as clean due to these signs of exhaustion and rejection right at the bearish structure. It's not like we had a clean break, a retest, and continuation up. We came right to the structure, had an immediate hard rejection, and then started to consolidate here and close back below the range. Understand? And I'm being mindful of the UK PMI data in an hour. If we don't break these lows and the UK PMI data is good, we could just end up having a bounce back in this range. I just feel safer selling below 0.700. GBP USD, I feel safer selling below 0.7373. We didn't break above our key level. And at the same time, we had to react to these active headlines from the Irish foreign minister, right? How they're talking about mandatory quarantine hotels. How they're talking about the Brexit arrangement issues, right? Oh, gold played out though. There's gold. See what I was talking about that order block? At least gold played out so far. Gold played out. If we break above 47, we can continue up. But look where this candle just stopped on a dime for a second, eh? Did you guys get to catch gold though above 44 for this scalp? GJ nothing valid yet. GU nothing valid yet for buys or sells. Gold played out nice though. Gold's looking good. Even if gold on the 1 minute, guys, gives us another retest here, we can take another entry. Sorry, I was looking at GU and GJ for that couple of minutes. But I told you guys what I was talking about for that new 30-minute candle. Rewind the stream when I was talking about the new 30-minute. All right, now let's look. If we get weak bearish price action or a continued price action above 47, we could still take a continued scalp. Because the momentum is looking pretty strong right now. What I'd be looking for continuation on gold is this. What the hell with my epic pen? I do not want this candle to engulf this bullish candle. I want a couple of weak bearish candles, a retest and continuation up, or a weak bearish candle and a bullish candle above 47 and continuation up. All right. Gold literally went to our 30 pip scalp target in that 1 minute candle. If this 1 minute candle closes bullish above these bodies, you could take more buy scalps. Otherwise, let it do its pullback now, and let's see if we get a retest of these highs. Like if we get the retest in 2 to 3 1 minute candles, and then we fail to break back below here, it's looking good for a retest and continuation. All right. I give you that. Come on, every session I give you guys play-by-plays on gold. I missed it by 1 minute this time because I was looking at GJ. But you guys get the idea. if you get a bearish engulfing candle but like that closes here, then don't touch gold. But if we get continue weak bearish candles that retest 45, buy. Or if we get a bullish candle above 47, then it's looking good. All right. I'm liking how these bearish candles so far are closing much weaker than this bullish engulfing 1 minute. I'm liking how this retest is fairly slow and corrective so far. You get what I'm saying? I just don't want some engulfing candle that closes back below this range. And GU, there's nothing favorable yet. And GJ, there's nothing favorable yet. It's just back in the range, bouncing around. Yeah. GJ, we're still waiting below 0.700. This looks like it was the pullback with this nice weak bullish candle close. And if this comes back above 47, we're going to have another squeeze. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the retest at 44 if we fail to break buys, or back above 47 buys. All right. GJ is just bouncing around at these lows and in the consolidation zone for now. We're still patiently waiting above 151 or below 700. And we have the UK construction PMI data in about 45 minutes. Don't forget that. And don't forget some of these key fundamental points. Also, don't forget your mental reminders. Also, if you enjoy these streams, please make sure you like, subscribe, check out all the free resources within the links in the description. Make sure you follow and subscribe to the Capital Hungry YouTube page. Tons of educational webinars, psychology webinars, rants about society, scalping sessions, higher time frame analysis, and so forth. The Capital Hungry News Twitter, which like Forex Factory searches from and other news sources source from as well. The Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis channel. The Capital Hungry BitClout page. And I'm also doing a promotion on the private channel right now as well, where when you sign up for the monthly private service and you get access to our daily London trading sessions, higher time frame analysis, weekly recap webinars, everything that we do on the YouTube stream plus 10 times more. It's usually $110 for 4 weeks, where a lot of members will tell you they make back, once you watch the educational webinars and you actually follow a couple of London trading sessions or analysis, people can make back their fee fairly quick. But right now it's $110 for 5 weeks, so you get an extra week free. But yeah, make sure you follow all the free resources and do your due diligence with Capital Hungry first. Like the stream, subscribe, you know. All right, if we start to create a little bit of an order block here and then break to the upside of it, we're going to have continued buy scalps on gold. It looks like this was the minor pullback. We just need to come back above 47 with some bullish candle closures above these candle bodies, and we can take some continued gold scalps. And also an hourly candle in 16 minutes. Gold, GJ, still no clean breaks of these lows, just in this consolidation so far. I didn't want anybody getting caught in some of these bounces, you know? And we have the UK data after as well. We haven't had any further negative headlines regarding Brexit or anything else. It looks like that Irish foreign minister missed his buys at the bottom and he wanted to set up price there again. That dickhead. Because when he said those negative headlines here about Brexit issues It was right at London Open, and it was right when we rejected bearish structure. You guys ever notice the headlines come out as you're approaching a significant price point? Have you guys been noticing that? Whenever you have a headline that impacts the market, it usually is also coming when a pair or stock market is at a significant price point. It's like they're waiting for their orders too. But yeah, GJ's just in that consolidation zone, you know? Bouncing around here. New 15-minute candles. Gold, no buys unless we come above 47, or if we retest 44.5 again here. See why I didn't want anybody like selling right at 0.800 or the lows? Because why deal with this like 10-15 pip pullback? You know what I mean? Why deal with these bounces if you don't break the lows just yet? Once we finally break below 0.7, we're going to have a very easy to identify sell-off and very easy play to take advantage of. But until then, you're having this decision by buyers and sellers in this area. You know? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So this is where these are the types of days when you're trading GBPJPY or you're trading GBPUSD, and you have to understand, after having such impulsive sells, from a psychological perspective, when you have such strong sell plays, but then when you start observing the market, it's consolidating, this is where it can really test your patience, because you just want to take advantage of another impulsive move. You don't want to deal with the consolidation. You want that meltdown off the screen. You know what I mean? You want to sell right back down, or you want that break and buys right back to the highs. When it's consolidating, you have to be objective enough as a trader to identify this. And then also be able to say, hey, I'm not going to stress out or trade this range. I'm not going to exert my mental energy here. I'm not going to waste any capital taking trades or doing stupid shit here. I'm going to patiently wait for either the break of the lows for a quick scalp, or if we can finally break above the bearish market structure. These types of consolidation zones, or when the market is consolidating or generating liquidity or in a pullback phase or in a corrective phase, these types of consolidation areas that can last hours or complete session periods is what kills retail traders, because they'll be fighting the market for that 8 hours, burning through their capital. Up and down, up and down, up and down. You know what I mean? So from a psychological perspective, trade in conditions that are cleanest to you. When GJ's trending clean, or when you finally get the break of the low, you know you're going to have that stronger sell-off. If we finally can break above, come back above 151 and break this structure, you know we're going to have easy buys. You know? Gee, for gold scalps, do you prefer the 1 minute or 60 ticks? You literally described 1 minute in 2 different ways. That's like asking me if I prefer 1 minute or 60 seconds. You fucking retards, man. At least think before you ask a question. What do you mean 60 ticks? That's 1 minute. That's like asking me if I prefer a 1 hour candle or 60 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. And that's why you're not going to make any sense. That's why you're not going to make any sense. Get it? First, you got to make sense. Then you can start making sense. The ticks are seconds. The ticks go by seconds. That's what it is. That's what a tick chart's supposed to be. A tick. That's what it's... Yeah. Gold retest? Yeah, you guys can call me a dumb fuck too. Alright, let's watch gold here. We're getting the retest of the new 15-minute candle. If we don't break below this area, and we get some weak bearish candle closures and a bullish candle close, we're going to go right back up to 47 and potentially higher. How does GBP fall so much when it's so fundamentally bullish? It's called a pullback. Oh, guys, look who's back. It's fucking Adrian Retard, the Barclays institutional trader. Looked like he just finished entering his contracts for Barclays, doing his billion-dollar trades. He's back. No, if we close below here, then we're not taking buys. If we still close above here with weak bearish candle closures, then bullish, it's a nice retest for continued buys. You guys can roast me as well. So it's all fun and game. Think about this trading stream like a trading pit or a trading room. Just because we might use some vulgar language, just because we might throw some roasts at each other in a masculine fashion, doesn't mean we're disrespecting each other. You know, there's enough people who come in here, call me a stinky. You know how many people come in here, never seen my stream, and go, "You stinky packy," and then leave? That's it. And then they leave. Then they go about their day. You know what I mean? This is a nice retest, by the way, so far. We didn't close below it. You know when I was on Instagram, how much racial abuse I used to take for no reason? Fucking, it's just funny. I just laugh at it personally. Like I don't take it to heart. cries inside. Low key. Imagine I muted my mic but by accident and you guys heard tears. Fucking adds up. I'm only human. Yeah, imagine. You guys hear me? Guys, I gotta be back. I'm going to the washroom. I don't mute. You guys hear me crying? Oh man, that would be funny. That would be funny. Oh. The hourly candles are closing in 8 minutes. The hourly candles are closing in 8 minutes. GJ, let's see if we can start approaching 0.800. I'm sorry, 0.700 for the sells. What's this? Spokesman for Myanmar to UK locked out of the... Ambassador to UK is locked out of the embassy. We're getting some drama with the UK from Brexit, with Myanmar here, with the Irish foreign minister. So if we can finally get that break below 0.700, it's going to be easy sells. But it's still just bouncing around there. Yeah, hourly candles are closing in 7 minutes. Yeah, that's why. Now you guys know the truth. Why I take so many washroom breaks. Those are my crying breaks. Mr. Allen W just said, "Hey, do you ever evaluate the dollar index chart?" Hello, darkness, my old friend. Alright guys, I'm signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Fucking hate my life. Listen, gold gave a nice quick scalp here, but it's gonna come down to retest on the hourly. It gave a quick 15 pips at the retest, but I think the new hourly candle is gonna give us a better retest. GJ's coming down to 0.700. Here comes GJ. Let's start looking at GJ as well here. If we can get this hourly candle on GJ to close below 0.700, then the next hourly, we're taking sells. All right? Dominion Markets, I have an account with Dominion Markets, but I haven't, like, it's not, like, on MT5 on mobile yet, and I'm still waiting for, like, I've been testing it. I put real money in with Raja, but I'm just waiting for him to officially open everything, like the IB portal. I'm still using Pacific Union mainly for now, with those links in the bio. I want this GJ hourly candle to close at 0.700 or below 700, and then the next hourly just create an upper wick, and we can take those sells down. You know what I mean? It might even break like right now, which is nice. So this is what we're gonna be looking for on the next hourly candle, down to 0.5. No high risk buys. No high risk buys because of the we haven't broken like this bearish market structure after retesting it. We're gonna get our sell plays on the next hourly candle. All right, or like I'm hoping to get the sell plays in the next hourly candle here. We might even if we get a deeper retest on the hourly to 0.800, but it doesn't break, I take sells, or back below 0.700 now at this point I take sells. The bearish pressure is looking a lot nicer. I'm just waiting for the new hourly candle for execution points. Yes. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the new. I'm just waiting for this hourly candle closes. We've seen how GJ. Wait for the hourly. I've seen GJ in the last 1 minute. It could end up closing at 0.800. So what I mean? I'm just waiting for this hourly candle to close. You don't know what GJ can do in the next 2 minutes right before the hourly close. Whip straight back up to like 0.85. End up closing bullish above the. End up still closing above the range. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm being patient here. 2 more minutes till the hourly candle closes. Same, see how it's talking about with gold here? It gave you that quick scalp, but we didn't break this price sensitivity area. So we'll get it looks like we'll get a deeper retest on the next hour. The next hourly candle on gold might even come down to these order block lows again. So where I'm looking for gold buys is the same area again. If we break below, then here. You know? Yeah, then we have the UK construction PMI 30 minutes after the new hourly candle. Yeah, 1 minute helps. If you can be objective enough on the 1 minute, after you have that experience, you can really cut your losses short and then milk wins too, you know? I don't know why you guys are mad. I'm the one who had high risk buys here and I was up 1700 in profit. And I had to watch it go all the way here and come back down. You know what I mean? And still objectively close my position, stay emotionally neutral. It's just the nature of the beast. You can't get angry about things that are out of your control. GJ playing games in the last minute. TJ playing games in the last minute. Still potentially closing above. See what I meant? But that last 60 seconds in the hourly candle? It closed above the range still on the hourly, but it's still looking very, very bearish. You know what I mean? I just don't like how it closed above the range on the hourly. Look where it closed. It's still very bearish, but look where it ended up closing that last second. And look where we rejected at that last second. No safe sell still. If we can retest 0.800 and still reject. And if we can clear these lows, we'll have such an easy sell play. We probably will get this maybe at New York. If we do not break these lows, do not take sells. We're going to be bouncing around here more aggressively. All right? Because we also have the UK construction PMI in 30 minutes. If that data is good, it could just give a bounce here. We're only taking sells now if we can clear below 0.700 on the 1 minute. And these candle body lows. If we can get 1 minute candle closures below here, then we have this scalp play and lower. Then if we break 150.5, we can go even lower, you know? That's why I didn't want anybody to rush there. I want to see how the hourly candle close. I don't want this hourly candle. Like if we see this reject and come back above, then the new hourly was just making a lower wick and we're still in that range. We still haven't validated a clean break below these lows yet. Here, here, here. All right. Once we get bearish candle closures below here, it's going to be a meltdown for that hourly candle. If we don't get that, then stay out. Here it comes. It looks like if this is looking a lot better now. Even if this closes bearish and we get the retest continuation down. I do not want this bullish move to get engulfed. That's what I don't want. I do not want this bearish candle. I do not want it to get engulfed closing back in the range. I want it to close weak bearish below 0.700. If it closes bullish back above the range, I'm not selling. I'm not selling. If this closes bullish back above 0.700, I'm not selling. If it closes weak as is, it still looks good. All right. So when I'm watching this 1 minute price action zoomed in, what I'm looking for is for now weaker bullish candles that's going to stay below these low points. And then show me continued sell pressures down. You know what I mean? This is looking good. This is looking good. Same idea. I do not want this candle to go bullish and close back above here. I want it to close weak bullish, even another bullish candle, and continue with more bearish candles and weaker bullish candles. Right? Just quick, weak bullish candle closures like this, and we can continue down to 0.500. If we get a bullish engulfing candle, I would close out any positions. And keep in mind the UK PMI data as well. You get what I'm saying? So now that we close below 0.7, I do not want bullish candle closures back above these areas. I want just continued weak bullish candles compared to the bearish candles and make our way down to 0.500. And if we break below 0.500, even better. Once we have, if this bearish candle closes below these bodies and engulfs it, the next candle should melt down to 0.500. We're pretty close to the 0.500 target. I would like to break lower, but again, it's still moving pretty nicely. I took a very aggressive sell scalp with like a 20 lot by accident, but it ended up working out. Same idea now. I'm watching this area. I'm watching this area. If we continue to get weak, bullish candle closures and bears, you can continue to extend this trade. If we break below 0.500, we're good. I don't like how this candle closed very weak bearish. I'm not liking that candle close. But if this bullish candle still remains below this area, we're still good. Yeah, I caught the same scalp as you guys. Because it was a 20 lot, I put it risk-free as soon as I could. And I closed it at this 0.500 area tap here. Yeah, it's right there. Oh, sorry, that's the other trade. That was the high risk buys before. Be mind. So see how we're still closing below here? This is a good sign. But I need the next candle to continue bearish. I need this candle to close below these bodies. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice, very nice. Beautiful price action. First TP hit. First TP hit. Play-by-play price action. Come on. Who the fuck breaks down price action like that for you guys? Alright. We're reacting at 0.500 now. This is a higher time frame key level. Be very, very mindful at this area. I would like to break below and continue melting, but just be very mindful in this area. Where the price action so far is very nice for continued sells. We have a new 5-minute candle that just opened up. Same idea. If this can just quickly retest even 0.500 and continue bearish, you can extend positions. Also, for anybody who's looking at the lower time frame, start looking at this. Because even if we get an aggressive pullback on the new 4-hour at 0.700, we're still going to be very, very bearish, right? As long as this new 5-minute candle does not close above this area and does not engulf this bearish candle, it's still looking good to continue down. I'm liking this very weak bullish candle close again. If we can close below these bodies and get continued bearish candles, again, extend your trade. Let's melt off the screen if we can. Let's melt off the screen if we can. I want this candle to close bearish. I don't want the bodies to close back above here. Yeah, that 20 lot fucking paid out fat. Imagine it runs 100 pips. Okay, I don't like how this potential candle body's closing weak bearish here. We might get a more aggressive pullback if the body closes weak and bearish like this. We might get a bullish candle pullback here, the following candle. I would like continuation bearish melt sells. If we can have this candle just engulf and continue down, we're still good. We're still golden. You can continue to extend your trade. But if we start to create a bit of a flat candle body support in this area, you want to be mindful where these candle bodies start closing. We're starting to get a bit weaker bearish candle closure so far. And we're coming to the 4:30 a.m. Eastern news soon too, which might give us a pullback if that data's good. I want continued bearish candle closures and we can continue melting. Beautiful. Looking good still. Hopefully you guys got to catch at least 25 pips so far. Let me zoom out just in case we start melting here so I can see more of the screen, because I want to target 0.200 next. These are the areas I'm watching to ensure we don't get any bullish candle closures above there, just for reference. I know Raja gives you guys good price action breakdowns, but I don't think people will be breaking down 1-minute candles like this, candle after candle, telling you, hey, hold your trade, hey, take an entry, hey, extend your trade. So, like, come on. Give me some fucking credit. Who does this for you guys for free, live, step by step by step? Analysis ahead of time, price points ahead of time, exactly when to enter, how to hold your trade, extend it. Come on, hyenas. Come on, hyenas. Give credit where credit's due, hyenas. I personally closed all my positions just because that 20 lot was pretty heavy. So I just exited it. I closed here. I closed here. I didn't even get as good of an entry, and it still played out very nice. You know? I closed it here. I'm out. I'm done. I'm outdone. I'm still gonna tell you guys if you can hold your trades or not, or what's going on, but I'm out and done. New 15-minute candle, and we have UK economic data, the UK construction PMI in 15 minutes. Am I scaling in each of these 1-minute supports? No, I only enter at our predetermined areas of interest or at PPLs. The reason I didn't enter at 0.800 is because the lows were created 10 pips below it. You guys know I just closed my 20 lot and this is about to straight fucking melt, isn't it? Isn't it? I 100% just closed my trade and this is about to do a straight bearish melt. Why do I feel like it's going to do a straight bearish melt right now? Just because I closed. Can you guys stop spamming gold in the chat when I'm trying to break down fucking minute by minute candle? Can you stop spamming me to look at something else? Do you think I'm artificial intelligence? Do you think I'm some supercomputer? This is about to fucking melt and fill this little box, isn't it? You guys are no longer the refugees. You guys are the market hyenas, the vultures. Straight crackheads. Alright though, W's in the chat. 30 pip GJ trade called exactly what to wait for. Precision, everything. Come on. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. If you took a simple one lot here, you would have made $300+ on this move. If you took a 0.5, you would have made $150. If you took a 0.2, you would have made $75. And it's still going. We patiently waited for our confirms. We patiently waited for that low to be cleared out. We even waited for this retest. That position, I closed everything. Okay, but for everybody who's been here since the start, did it make sense that we were watching this consolidation phase? We didn't get the break of bear structure. As soon as we broke these 1-minute lows, and as we had negative Brexit headlines, short-term negativity regarding vaccine, quarantine hotels, and finally the confirms below 0.700, it's a very clean trade with all of your confirms. The confirms are, we didn't break bearish market structure. That's 1. We come back below the order block. That's 2. We have negative headlines from Brexit and negative headlines regarding COVID hotels, quarantine hotels. That's 3. We finally break the technical lows. That's 4. Then the 1-minute price action, we extend down. Wow, I closed at a great spot. I got great instinct when I closed. I'm happy where I closed. Okay, now let's observe this price action. What I don't like is how this 1-minute candle is engulfing these last 4 minutes worth of seller price action. But we're still very bearish now, where we could get an aggressive pullback to 150.5 or even to this minor structure and still continue down. The reason why I exited is because of this weaker bearish candle close, the new 15-minute candle, and because we have, and because, oh, we don't even have UK PMI tonight. Never mind. I thought we had UK jobs, UK PMI data tonight. think it's a medium term. I think it's a medium risk report. I'm not going to see here. Let's see. I thought we had UK construction PMI at 430. It's not showing up here anymore. Did they reschedule it? Anyways, whatever. We got the scalp. You guys get the idea. Unless they rescheduled it, 430 should be some UK PMI data. But anyways, you guys get the idea. We'll see that in the newsroom if we do have it. Gold. Okay, gold. Let's look at gold now. Gold is still respecting this order block. We have some minor corrective bearish market structure. If you guys get bullish engulfing candle closures above this area, you can take gold scalps right back up to 47 and higher. Okay? If we do not break above this little structure and back above 45, we're just going to continue to range back in here. Don't touch it. But gold, I like this little corrective pullback. I like this weak bearish price action. If we can get some bullish engulfing candles above 44.5, you guys can catch another 30 pip scalp back to this 1 minute high and higher. All right? I gotta go to the washroom, man. I've been talking so much. You guys really, I'm not gonna stream next week. You guys really undervalue these streams. I think you guys are taking this shit for granted about how much information you're really getting. You know what I mean? So next week's just gonna be for the private channel. You hyenas can suck my dick. I gotta go to the washroom. I'll be back. I gotta go to the washroom though. Yeah, so I'm being dead serious. I'm not streaming next week. You guys got Daniel Savage and Sean Lee or Q Banks posting them going to a car dealership getting 20,000 views. And you guys can barely send me likes making you money every stream. Next time I'm sending a picture of my hairy balls on the stream and then I'm signing off. If this is the type of respect you clowns are giving me. Alright? That simple. Cause we do this in the private chat any day anyway, every day anyway, so it's not that big deal for me. But yeah, I gotta go take a piss. I'll be back. Nah, jokes aside though, I'm not kidding about that. I'm actually getting a bit fed up with the YouTube audience and like how YouTube works, the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like I'll be doing Like, let's be realistic. I'm out here doing 4-hour live streams. I'm out here doing 1-hour webinars on how to improve your mentality and how to improve your life. I'm out here doing 50-minute market update webinars for trade ideas. 2-hour, 3-hour live streams. Full higher time frame educational breakdowns. GBPJPY fundamental and technical analysis. You have scalping series. You're talking about 4-hour webinars here. Psychology webinars. Scalping webinars. Central bank webinars. Fundamental principles, market. And this isn't even the private channel. You know what I mean? This isn't even what's offered in the private channel within the webinar vault. Where the fuck is that? So I'm actually not kidding. Like, I'm getting real sick and tired of how YouTube's narrative and everything works. A fucking log. You know? So I'm giving way too much information that I worked my ass off for. I had to go through shit tons of trial and error, 3 to 4 years of back testing. I'm just blessing you guys with my presence. This is the educational webinars in the private chat. This isn't on YouTube. This is for the private chat members to trade exactly how I trade. That's 50 plus just educational webinars on different topics that aren't even in the private, that aren't on my YouTube. But on my YouTube, like, look at this shit. I've been doing some of these higher time frame analysis since like last year on YouTube. Right? And the more I started doing these types of webinars, like, hey guys, the pandemic, the 1% versus the 99%. We are in a mentally weak and sick society. Blissful ignorance, how the modern world is hypnotized. The more I do these realistic types of videos, the less views and less attention I get. You know what I mean? Where if I go to like Q Banks here, this guy's got 50,000 views, and this guy can post his 2 Lamborghinis. This guy can get 20,000 views on a video about his fucking birthday. Like, are you fucking YouTubers absolute losers? You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna keep doing this shit without the appreciation or the correlated respect, because I don't really have to. I got people that pay within the private channel and pay for this every single day. You know what I mean? But like, what is this guy's like, what is this shit? It's all cars. It's all clickbait. Daniel Savage, 42,000. 12,000 views, 13,000 views. This guy's just breaking down some shit that already happened. Just putting some random shit on the chart saying, hey guys, look at this sell that happened. That's a fucking vicious fucking hairline. Oh my god, poor guy, yo. Sorry, Daniel, if you're watching. Bro, if you got this much money, you gotta fucking do something about this extension here. That's just fucking terrible, bro. That's fucked. That's some fucked up market structure. If you're watching, Daniel, I know you'd be watching the streams. You got all this money. You whitened your teeth. Do something about that, dude, bro. Do something about that. Go to Turkey. Get the hair transplant Roger got. You know what I mean? You're way too young, bro. You're younger than me, man. You shouldn't be having that type of hairline and be stressing like that at this age, smoking cigarettes and shit, bro. Come on. I want Daniel Savage, if you're watching, bro, get in the gym. You know what I mean? Get that hair transplant. But look how many views this guy gets. It's awesome. Like, look at all the exposure these guys get. Make sure you follow all the Capital Hungry free resources. I got a free news Twitter for you clowns. The free Telegram analysis channel. The BitClout. Everything on the Capital Hungry YouTube page. Alright? Make sure you check out all the free resources. I'm just saying this stuff now because I'm ending the stream soon. That's why I'm saying it now. I'm ending the stream soon. No, someone said YouTube doesn't want poor and stupid people to have wealth and knowledge. No, poor and stupid people only like to watch entertainment. Poor and stupid people do not like to use their free time to better their life. They don't like to go to the gym. They don't like to improve themselves mentally, financially, or spiritually. They just like to indulge themselves in short-term satisfaction and entertainment. Movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, all entertainment. Just to keep themselves as numb as possible, you know? But anyways, everybody, thank you for attending the live stream. We have the UK PMI data, but I don't think that's today. I think it got rescheduled. Oh yeah, I think it got rescheduled. If you want to see exactly how the private channel works, go watch this introduction video. Here, private channel. Tell them what's in the private channel. I'll let you guys read the chat. I'm just gonna go grab some water quick. I'll let you guys tell them the price alerts, the key level alerts. Is it worth it? Is it worth the monthly fee? Do you get to make your money back? Do you get to learn shit? You know? In 30 minutes, we have Asian market close. And we have new 4-hour candles. But I'm going to be ending the stream because, like, it was just a London session stream, you know? We got some nice 30 pip GJ sells. Called on the dime. 30 pip GJ sells. And that 30 pip gold buys, actually, too, at the start of the stream. All right, everybody. Private chat, YouTube chat. I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys next time I stream. Everybody take care. Besides all the jokes and roasting, thank you for the support. Take care and have a good night.